Good evening, London. On behalf of Waterstones, thank you for joining us tonight to celebrate Rachel Reid in this fabulous venue for her one and only UK event of the year. Before we begin, a few housekeeping notes. As you're aware, there won't be a signing tonight. However, after a brief interval, Rachel and Talia will be opening the floor to the audience, so start thinking about your questions. And now back to the main event. Heated Rivalry and Game Changer series have taken the world by storm. Our algorithm would never be the same. We've read each book an embarrassing amount of times, and we're counting the days to Unrivaled. Joining us tonight to dig deeper into this cultural phenomenon is best-selling romance author Talia Hibbert. She'll be interviewing a woman who today needs no introduction. She's the name on everyone's lips, and she is the moment. So give it up for Rachel Reid and Talia Hibbert.
Wow, hi. Well, talk about full house. So, hi everyone. As you've just heard, I'm Talia Hibbert, and as I'm sure you all know, this is the Rachel Reid. Yeah. I'm so excited to be here talking to you this evening. I'm so grateful that everyone else is here to talk with us this evening. There are so many burning questions about your books, about this world that you've created. So let's jump into it.
All right.
So I'd love to know about your journey as a writer. When did you know that you were going to be a writer, and how did you come to work in this business?
I mean, it was kind of by accident. I just started writing something for fun for me that I didn't think I'd ever actually show anyone or let them read. And that ended up being Game Changer. And it was just something I did because I was desperate for a creative outlet. I mean, I've always written, and I always wanted to be a writer, but I didn't think I'd actually ever have a published novel, let alone a bunch of them. So yeah, I don't know, it was always a dream, and then you kind of start to push 40 and you're like, maybe this dream's not going to happen, but I'm glad that I kept trying.
Yeah. You made it happen.
Yeah. So, keep trying.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And how did you get into romance? Did you always know that you were going to write a romance?
I don't think I really set out with that exact goal in mind. I liked writing all sorts of things, but I've definitely always been drawn to romance plots in everything, whether it's television or, even video games, anything. I want that romance plot, So I actually, I'm not somebody, my mom doesn't read romance, so I wasn't one of those kids that was stealing her mom's romance novels. So I kind of came to it later, once I figured out there are books where the whole thing is a romance plot, so you don't have to go looking for it. And yeah, so once I kind of started reading them and getting into them, I thought it would be fun to write one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we'll dig more into the books, but first I wanted to dip into the TV adaptation, Heated Rivalry. I have so many questions.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's kind of niche, but...
Contact your local streamer.
So when did you learn that your series was going to be adapted for television?
Well, it was August 2023 that Jacob Tierney reached out to me on Instagram, which I think is now kind of a legendary DM. DM her around the world. Yeah, that was actually what happened. He just sent me a DM, and the next day we had a Zoom call where he just laid out my absolute fantasy of a show based on my books, and it's exactly what everybody watched. It was just an amazing conversation where I knew immediately that this was going to be in good hands, and I felt very confident that it was going to be made because Jacob's a pretty big deal in Canadian film, so I was like, this might happen. Unless he loses interest, I think this is gonna happen. and it did, and yeah, I had to keep it a secret for such a long time. It was killing me, especially as it became more and more, once it got greenlit, I still had to keep it a secret. Once it was already filmed, I still couldn't talk about it. I'd visited the set and I couldn't talk about it, and I was like, oh my God, it's killing me. So when it was finally announced, I was so happy. And even more happy when everybody saw it and I could finally talk about it to everyone.
Yeah, that must have been the world's hardest secret to keep.
Yeah.
And I noticed that a lot of the scenes in the show are like word for word dialogue from the books. So how involved were you in the production of this show, or was that all Jacob?
That was all Jacob. I was blown away when he sent me the scripts.
Yeah.
Because I was fully expecting it to be loosely based on, because that's generally what happens. And he's a great writer himself, so I just thought he'd really make the dialogue, his own. Not that he didn't. A lot of the best lines on the show are totally Jacob, but just there was so much of my dialogue on the page and blocking and, just everything. So that was an amazing feeling, because I know a lot of authors who have their work adapted don't get that feeling. So I was lucky.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful adaptation. I know as a reader, I understand that sometimes things have to change for TV and film, they don't translate. But it's such a perfect feeling when you can see the exact scene in the book and then watch it on TV, and you're like, yes, I wanted to see this come to life, and here we are.
There were so many scenes that I was just like, I couldn't believe I was seeing them, because it was exactly what was in my head. It was just amazing.
So, obviously, in this first season, it was mostly following Shane and Elia's story, but we did get Game Changer, book 1 in the series as well, Kip and Scott. Now that we are confirmed for season 2, I would like to know, and I'm sure I'm not alone, who else are we going to be seeing on screen, Rachel?
Earmuffs, Jacob. I don't actually know yet for sure. It's still being written, but I think you can expect to see Troy. I think you can expect to see Harris. As for who else, I don't know yet, but Jacob's a big fan of the whole series. He definitely wants to get all of the books into the series one way or another, and all of the characters. So, yeah, you're going to see probably some role model and some long game in the mix in the next season, so I'm very excited about that.
And this is a personal question for me. Are we going to see Tough Guy?
I hope so. I do know Jacob's a big Tough Guy fan. I would really, really, really like to see Tough Guy.
Me too. Okay, we'll hold out hope. And are there any season 2 secrets that you can tell? It's just you, me, 900 of our closest friends, the viewers at home. You can trust us.
We're going to keep a lot of the same cast. We'll try to bring everybody back. Jacob's still going to write it. I don't know. It'll be filmed in Canada. I don't know. I can say this, that Brendan told me last week that they're going to try really hard to keep the vibes that were there for filming season 1 still intact, even though obviously things have changed a lot. We're not going to be going around Guelph to bars or whatever, going to dinner. But it's they're going to try really hard to keep the vibe on set similar, even though it might be a little harder to keep this thing a secret and to keep it private. But I do think that those vibes were an integral part of what made the show the way it is. So.
Yeah. And finally, this is me being very normal and not at all creepy, asking an extremely innocent question. How are your friends Connor and Hudson doing? They seem like great guys.
Busy? I need some water. They're exactly as wonderful as you want them to be. They're amazing. I don't know how we got this lucky finding them, finding the whole cast, but they're not only the perfect Ilya and Shane, they're just amazing people. I think I said to them like several times when we were together for the premiere, like, you guys could have been dicks. Like, you guys could have been the worst people, and like, or you could have hated each other. Like, like there's so many things that could have gone a different way, but they're legitimately best friends. They're wonderful people. They're just really nice. They're so funny. They're really committed to these characters. They took it very seriously. The show was very important to them. And I think just all of that together made their performances so good. And they're both obviously so talented. And they've rocketed into the stratosphere, and I feel like they're probably, loving it, but also probably a little bit exhausted too. I mean, you'd have to be, right? Like, yeah. I mean, I saw Hudson's in Paris now. I was like, I don't know how that's possible.
It's just all over.
He might have some sort of warp tunnel that I don't know. Maybe Hollywood has access to. I don't know. But I don't know how they're doing. I mean, they're a lot younger than me, so that's probably how they're doing it. But yeah, no, they're great. I really can't say enough good things about them.
Oh, fantastic. And this is kind of cheating because you already told me this backstage, but you told me a really fun story about the loon line.
Yes.
In the show. I
can probably tell that.
That I think people would like to hear.
The stupid Canadian Wolfbird line had to be re-recorded. Like, it wasn't audible and it wasn't said exactly right. And it was recorded the day of the premiere in Toronto. So it was real close to not making it onto the show. But yeah, I guess the longer version of the story is that Hudson and Connor and I and my husband Matt, we were all at the Montreal airport to fly to Toronto for the premiere. And our flight just kept getting delayed. And Connor was supposed to be picked up at the airport and taken directly to a recording studio to record that. And like, the premiere was that night. So it was like, it just kept getting delayed and more delayed and more delayed. And I was like, that line's not going to be on the show because of Air Canada. And I was just like, it was very stressful, but we did make it happen. But I was also saying, like, I don't think Connor and Hudson and I could hang out at an airport gate for that long anymore, just without getting bothered.
I don't think that would fly.
Yeah.
No, that's so fun.
But I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah. And, applause.
We made it happen.
What surprised you the most about having your series adapted for television?
Oh, I think how loyal it was. I went in with trying to manage my expectations a lot, just because I talked to other authors who have had their works adapted, and there's a lot of disappointment usually. Sometimes it's downright devastating, and sometimes it doesn't get made, or it gets made and it never airs. So all of these things, you have to keep in mind that it's possible. But from the moment I talked to Jacob, but definitely after I read the scripts, and definitely after I visited the set, and definitely after I saw clips, and even just production stills, I was like, this is going to be so good. And I think I was just surprised at how loyal it was and how much respect Jacob had for what I wrote. And not just Jacob, but everyone, like the actors, everyone on the set was just working so hard to bring my story to life in a way that respected the books. And yeah, it just surprised me because I was thinking it might be a much less pleasant experience, but it was amazing.
Yeah, you can really tell the respect for the books and for romance as a genre. You can tell that they're taking it seriously and understanding. Yeah,
and they kept me, like you've seen how much they still talk about me in the books doing promo, which I wasn't expecting at all. I really thought the premiere would be, that would be the time I tap out. This is like my farewell tour. But no, it's like they kept promoting me in the books, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, it was all a surprise, and it was nice.
Yeah, it's clearly a wonderful team. It shows in the work. And speaking of the books, the Game Changers series covers a lot. It covers mental health, queer identity and acceptance, misogyny and toxic masculinity in the hockey world. How did this series develop? Talk us through how this world came to life.
started, like, Game Changer was just going to be a standalone. And it was really just me as a hockey fan needing to work some things out because, like men's professional hockey has so many problems with the culture. And I've loved it my whole life, but I've also hated that I love it. And I needed to write something just to, like, get some feelings out. And yeah, I guess after Game Changer, I realized I still had more to say and then more to say. So I just kept going. But for me, it's been almost therapeutic writing these books. Like, it's felt good. It's felt healing for me in a way. And now that it has like a much wider audience and there's real conversations happening in the hockey world, it feels even better. Like, I never expected that.
So you could say this series has been a game changer.
Changing
I'm
the
so
game.
sorry, I had to. I love a pun. Did any of the books surprise you? Because, excuse me in my stalking, but I believe that they were sort of, you came up with the first 3, and then there was the next 3.
Yeah, I wrote each one as if it might be the last. Like, I really wasn't sure ever. That's why there's some weird stuff in Tough Guy that I wouldn't have put in if I'd known that the series was going to keep going. And there's like, I just kept not knowing which one. Originally, when I mentioned maybe writing what became the long game, my publisher was kind of like, maybe not, which I totally get, because it's weird to have a sequel to the second book as the 6th book in your series. So, I understood, but, then they changed their mind. So I wasn't sure that the long game would actually be something I get to write. So then I was like, should I wrap up Shane and Ilya's story at the end of Common Goal? Like, I didn't know what to do. So each one was, it's like having a Netflix series. You just don't know if it's going to be the last one. So I had to write each one as if I was getting canceled. So that's one thing that's satisfying about the show, too, is that, Jacob knows that all of them exist, so he can, like,
Yes.
omit the stuff that's weird.
I'm now so curious, what's weird?
Okay, there's 2 things that are big ones, I think. One is, kind of off-page mentioning that Shane came out to his teammates and stuff, and that was only because I just didn't think I'd ever have the chance to kind of dive into that more. And I just wanted to establish that it happened. I think Jacob's probably going to clean that up. And it seems like a big deal to not put on the page. And I think I had this, I think in Tough Guy, I mentioned 2 other NHL players who came out randomly, who were like West, because at the time I thought this would be the last book and I wanted to have show some change in the league from Scott coming out. And so I had these 2 randos come out who I never mentioned again. I did purposely mention them briefly in the long game, I think, just to get some closure on those guys. Anyway, that's a thing I wish I hadn't done. Yeah.
Good for those guys, right? Love that for them.
The forgotten heroes.
Because the thing about this series is that due to the epic timeline of Shane and Ilya's relationship, it starts before the first book, and then they sort of bookend the series. They're at the end as well.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like a spine through all the books. How did you navigate that, and did you realize that would happen when you first came up with it?
I was doing it on the fly, which I think shows through the early books. I think it got tightened up near the end, because when I was writing Role Model, I knew the long game was going to happen. So I feel like those 2 meshed together pretty well. But that was the only time I had the luxury of knowing for sure that the next book was coming, so I could do that. It would always be kind of like last minute, like I'd get, I would get the contract for like Role Model, and I'd be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go put Troy into Common Goal then. So it was always a little bit like last minute, but I think if I was going to do it again and I had the series like all mapped out, there are little changes I would make here and there to make it a little more cohesive, but
I don't think we would change a thing.
maybe it's good the way it is.
And I find it so impressive that you keep saying you were kind of doing this on the fly, but for example, that moment in Game Changer where Scott and Kip changed the game has a huge knock-on impact on Shane and Ilya's relationship. Was that an accident? Like, because that moment, the two of them, like, watching it happen and being like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
And then Ilya deciding, I'm coming to the cottage.
I remember.
As a result, that moment went double platinum in my house. He's coming to the cottage!
I don't plot, like, at all. Like, I just write, and whatever happens, happens. And it's not efficient, but it's the only way I know how to write. So I think originally Heated Rivalry was going to be a standalone, and it was going to span, like, their entire lives. It was going to take you to retirement and beyond. It was going to be this whole thing. And then, you know, it was suggested to me by my publisher that it should be a series. I should make it a series with Game Changer. And so I was like, okay, how do I do that? I'll put Ilya into Game Changer, and then, okay, I'll overlap the kiss. And I was like, that can be a big, important moment for Ilya and Shane. And then it kind of went from there. And then, yeah, so instead of it spanning their whole lives, which I'm glad I didn't do, because then there'd be no long game. And maybe there'd be no show. Yeah, so it was kind of like, once I knew that it was going to be a series, I think that the idea of the kiss and that being the thing that changes their relationship was pretty obvious, but it took a while to figure out how I was going to put those two books together.
Right.
Especially since Shane is not mentioned in Game Changer.
Yeah, I really love how it seems like it reflects his character, actually, because Shane is not super present in the rest of the series,
right.
Whereas Ilya is everywhere.
It's not because I hate Shane.
It's just his personality, Ilya, right? Every 5 minutes, he's like, hey.
He's just so fun to write. Like, yeah, he's fun to interact with other characters.
Yeah.
I love writing other characters reacting to him. Like, I like writing other characters' POV in scenes with Ilya. I find those are the funnest, like just them reacting to him.
How did you come up with his character and all the characters in this series? Because they're all so different.
Yeah, I mean, some of it is like, you know, just they're kind of tropey, I guess, in a way, but like, there's also like kind of general types of hockey players. Like there's always been kind of flashy, obnoxious, like kind of like European players that come into the league with their sports cars and like, just kind of like big personalities. And then there's like kind of these good boy, like Boy Scout type captains, like, and I just wanted to like, and I mean like, Ryan Price is like another type of hockey player. I just wanted to kind of take all of those types of hockey players and write characters based on them.
Yeah. No, and it worked. And actually, it's funny you mentioned tropes, because you have so many tropes throughout these books. You have like forbidden love, secret relationship, age gap, rivals to lovers. You know, you have the whole redemption arc. You have everything. How do you work tropes into your writing?
Yeah, I think, I don't know if I like approach a book like this is going to be an age gap romance, but like I guess I just like, I mean, I do enjoy that about romance, that you have these tropes, and it does make it easier to kind of like pitch your books to people. But I think for me it was more like the characters just kind of came to me, and you know, I knew Troy for sure. I wanted him to have a redemption arc kind of romance, and also like an opposites attract kind of romance. So that one I think was maybe a little more where I was deliberately thinking about the tropes, but and with Heated Rivalry, like I just love enemies to lovers, rivals to lovers. It's probably my favorite trope. So, and I honestly I love like a really slow burn of that.
Yes.
So this wasn't that because they're going at it on the first page, but I do enjoy that.
Yeah. No, it's funny you should mention, because these books are quite spicy. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it felt like the sex scenes had a real impact on the development of the relationship and on our understanding of the characters. What role do you feel sex plays in a novel?
I think for me, like, I mean, I have nothing against romance novels that don't have sex on the page, because I think some of my favorite books are those. But for me, I like writing the sex because I think it's just so like it's so vulnerable, and there's so many emotions, and there's so much important stuff that happens. So I just wanted to show that. And I mean, Heated Rivalry especially is really a romance told in sex scenes. Like, that's basically the only times they're together. And The Long Game is similar, because again, they're not together that much. So, yeah, and that's what Jacob said too. He was like, there's no way we can cut or even like pare down some of the sex, because it's like, this is the story. Like, the whole thing is them getting to know each other through these sex scenes. And so he was like, we're not going to be like fading to black or like making them shorter or anything like that, or using like body doubles. Like, it's like those are the scenes. Like, that's the story. So yeah, to me it's important. But I mean, I don't think it's like absolutely essential. I just the kind of stories I like to tell, the sex is a big part of them.
Yeah, and that does feel significant as well in light of the fact that it's queer romance, and especially in the world of hockey that has such problems with homophobia, queerphobia, toxic masculinity, actually showing and highlighting those relationships in every way feels really important. And actually, the different work that you did with multiple queer characters throughout this series was very meaningful to me as a queer person. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I loved... I love that, for example, you have a character like Shane who has to take a while to figure out, am I not straight? And then once he's got there, like maybe halfway through having sex with Ilya, he's like...
9 years into it.
Okay, so then what am I, you know? Something's not feeling straight around here. But then you also have characters who, you know, they know that they're, for example, gay, but they feel like they can't say anything. Like Scott, they feel very confined. And then you have multiple different representations of bisexuality, which feels very important. Cheers for the bicons.
Yay, bisexuality.
So what did it mean to you, and how did you approach sort of showing this range of experiences within the series?
Yeah, I just, it's a wide spectrum of people. Like, it's not, I just didn't want to write, one type of guy. I think a lot of my characters are quite young too, and they're also, I mean, the thing about hockey is they're pretty hyper-focused on that sport, so some of them might not be thinking about things beyond that, which I think is realistic. But yeah, I like to just show all different types. I mean, I had, in Time to Shine, I had a character, Casey, who was like very confident in himself, and then I have a character like Troy, who's like really, really secretive and full of shame and self-loathing, and I just like to kind of, I don't know. It also makes for more interesting writing, because it would be boring to write the same hockey player over and over again. So.
Yeah, I think I'm not the only one who is not remotely interested in hockey, but I was like glued to these books like, oh God, I hope they win the Stanley Cup. Who is Stanley? The All-Stars game, when I'm like, oh, they're on the same team now?
Something like that, yeah.
It's very educational, thank you. But also another thing I love about these books, you cover anxiety in Tough Guy, which was really meaningful to me. But across the series and the rest of your work as well, you cover so many things in terms of mental health, addiction, toxic masculinity, misogyny in the hockey community. What role does mental health and acceptance play in your work as a sports romance author?
Well, I think like they're all things that like hockey players especially don't want to talk about, and they're all things they definitely should be talking about, because they're definitely all happening in the hockey world. Mental illness especially is something that is not talked about nearly enough, especially in a sport where players are getting lots and lots of head injuries, and it is impacting their mental health. And I didn't go that dark in my books. I thought about it, but yeah, there are a lot of things that that hockey needs to be talking about and that matter to me personally. So again, it was just a great way to kind of get out a lot of feelings. And you know, as I dream of a hockey world where these things are talked about openly and it's not difficult and everybody's getting help and everybody's supporting each other.
Yeah. You talk a lot about,
Just for men in general, too.
you talk a lot about the physical impact on players as well and how that can affect them for the rest of their lives and obviously even their earning potential. What kind of research did you have to do? Because I know obviously you're a hockey fan anyway,
Yeah.
but what did that process look like?
I've read a lot of like hockey biographies, autobiographies, just general books about hockey. But yeah, just being a lifelong fan and knowing some of the darkest stories. You know, I again didn't go as dark as I could have on the injury and the physical side of things because it would be too sad. Like you don't want to know that these guys can't lift their arms above their head anymore or something like that. You know, just things that happen a lot with hockey players and very young too. Like, you know, things like, you know, developing like Alzheimer's and stuff in their 40s. Like, that's pretty common. And it's something that, you know, I don't want readers to have to think about with these guys. But realistically, I mean, yeah, their bodies get destroyed by the time they're in their 30s. So it's just the way that the sport is. But yeah, I probably could have addressed that more, but
I mean,
chose not to.
Yeah, I think, you know, you and I were talking previously about how romance is a safe space. You're kind of cradled by that happy ever after. You're cradled by the lens of love and of people getting what they deserve. So you can explore darker things, but you do still want to make readers feel safe. So how do you approach that balance of covering these very real topics that you do address, but also leaving people, you know, kicking their feet?
Yeah, I think like usually in the rough drafts, I'll go darker and then pull it back. Like I think almost every book has had something's gone way darker than ends up being in the final book. And because in the end, these are romance novels, and I don't need to be. Sometimes I would try to make them more realistic than romancy, and sometimes it goes all the way to my editor, who's like, you know, like this is a romance novel. So yeah, I've pulled back on some things, but yeah, I think it's important to get enough in there so that I can actually talk about the things I want to talk about. But yeah, you need that happy ending for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to ask you kind of a mean question now.
Okay.
Can you tell me your favorite characters and your favorite couple? Doesn't have to be the same.
I mean, Ilya and Shane are pretty special because, I mean, obviously they've changed my life. So, you know, they'll always be really important to me, and they're the ones that I can't stop writing, you know, like they're the ones that stay in my head. But I do really like Troy Barrett a lot. But I think the couple that's like the most solid is probably Ryan and Fabian. I think they maybe have the coolest relationship, I think.
Yeah, they're so sweet. I am biased. They are my faves. But obviously, I love all of them, but I do have faves. I also have really wanted to know the loon. How did you come up with that? Where did the whole loon thing come from?
It's just very Canadian. Like, I think I mean, it's actually largely based on, like, I went to a friend's cottage in Ontario once, and we were sitting by a campfire, and there were loons doing their thing at night. And I remember thinking, like, if you didn't know what that was, that would sound so scary. And then my friend did do the loon call with her hands, which is the thing that some people can do. I can't.
I was going to ask.
No, I'm sorry. I really did. I tried to learn how to do it for like when we started doing promo, but like I can't do it. But yeah, so yeah, all of that just stayed in my head, and I was like, that would be really fun to like, if Ilya didn't know what that was, to be scared of it, because we don't get to see him be scared very often, like in that way.
Yeah.
So,
no.
yeah, I liked that idea, and then I liked the idea of Shane being able to do it.
It was a bit of a role reversal for once for him to be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But you also got the impression that he was ready to fight the wolf.
Yeah, he would protect Shane from it, for
Yeah.
sure.
He was
But,
like, get
Shane
behind
was
me.
the cool one in that
Yeah.
situation for once. Yeah.
For once. Okay, I finally have really wanted to know, when you sit down to write, what does that process look like for you? As in, I'm not asking intellectual questions here. I want to know, like, what are you wearing? What drink do you have? Do you have music? Do you have a special cushion? I have a special cushion.
I should have one. I need a new chair. I'm not into the chair.
You've got to get a good chair.
I got a new one and I don't like it. So I need a new one. But yeah, usually I do put on music, usually classical or, I don't know, sometimes just kind of like an ambient techno-y thing that's just always instrumental anyway. And sometimes I'll light a candle.
Ooh.
Yeah, a glass of water, or maybe tea. Pretty comfortably dressed, and then I will like online shop for about an hour, and then delete a paragraph that I wrote, and then I don't know. It's slow. Sometimes I'll do writing sprints with another author.
Yeah.
I find that helpful. I don't know if you do
Yeah,
that too.
definitely.
I do find it's like you lock in. You're like, okay, 45 minutes, let's go, and then you check back in 45 minutes. I do find those helpful because I have one of those little like hexagon-shaped clocks that you can turn. You can get them on Amazon. They're like each side is a different number of minutes. So you just turn it so it's like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and just starts a timer immediately. And I find that really useful because you're like, okay, really focus until that clock's done.
Yeah, you've got to play tricks on your mind.
Yeah, it's helpful to set times because otherwise, yeah, I will just start like online shopping. And I try to make it so it's like no research, like don't Google anything. Just, if you don't know something, just put look this up later and keep going. Yeah, I find that helpful.
Yeah, no, otherwise, my thing is, when I have a deadline, my house has never been so clean.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm like, I should be writing, but it's also really urgent that I disinfect the entire house right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely happens to me too.
Okay, we'll do some rapid fire questions to finish off.
Okay.
What are your top 3 romance novels?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're on the spot now.
Okay. I'm a big Captive Prince fan.
Oh, me too!
I do reread that series quite a bit. I like that. Trying to think of which Cat Sebastian book I want to pick. I mean, yeah. Ooh. I think, yeah, that's the one I was thinking. We Could Be So Good is probably, I don't know, they're all good.
Spoiled for choice.
I know. Only have one left.
This is like torture.
I really like Katie Casey's, which one? I like all of their baseball romances, but I'm gonna say maybe the third one, which now I'm blanking on. They're all good. Unwritten Rules is the first one. Fire Season is the second one. Diamond Ring, thank you. I knew it had a ring in the title, but I couldn't think of what the baseball part was. Yep, Diamond Ring. Those are good.
So now you've got a reading list to take home.
Yep.
What are your top 3 TV shows, and you can say Heated Rivalry? It's encouraged.
Matt, what are they?
Now you're like, have I ever watched TV? Do I own a TV?
I've never watched a show in my life. The Traitors. No. Yeah. Taskmaster. I am a big Taskmaster fan.
I love that your husband knows all your favorite shows more than you do.
But what scripted shows?
No, they count.
Okay.
They count.
Yeah, I like, comedies a lot, so I'm just trying to think, Schitt's Creek, yep, that's a good one.
Nice.
Schitt's Creek's a good one. I do like that. I mean, I enjoy Cheers. I'm a big Cheers fan. Thank you. You know, I like Parks and Rec. I like all those shows.
Nice.
I don't know. I'll think of them later. Tonight I'll be lying awake and be like, those are
I think
your
I've
favorite
bullied
shows,
you
you
enough,
dummy.
yeah. Well, I think that is our time for my questions, but we're going to take a short break, and then it's time for you guys to ask questions. There will be 4 roving mics, so get ready to fight to the death. Or just, you know, politely form an orderly queue. It's going to be fine, nobody fight. We are going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back, so see you in a sec. Hello, hello, we are back. And now it's your turn to ask the questions. So we do have our roving mic.
Oh my goodness.
We're going around in an orderly fashion, and then every so often, I will also be asking some questions from our lovely viewers at home. Let's get started.
I didn't actually think I'd get the mic. Can you hear? Okay.
Yeah, I can.
First, thank you for writing the books. I feel like the way you wrote mental health representation is so important to me, and I feel like to everyone else as well, so thank you. Oh God, I'm so nervous. I was like, please give me the mic, and now I have it. I don't know what to do with it. Can I ask two? Is that rude? Is that bad?
I think it's one.
It's one. Okay. Trophy room or advice for writers? I'm gonna go trophy room. Thank you so much. Trophy room. Are you gonna fight for it so we can see it?
I don't need to fight for that. It's the #1 thing they're excited to film.
Thank you so much. Next person.
Wonderful. Right, so I believe we're up here now. Yeah.
I'm going to ask this question because I think you've probably been asked it, but even people who don't like these really want these. Are you going to do a TV series tying book cover?
I was expecting that. It's in the works. There's like a lot of things that have to happen. So soon I hope.
Woo! Okay, and now up here.
Hi. So there's so many different ways you can write neurodivergent characters, but you both wrote two of my favourite. Shout out to like the Brown Sisters and Time to Shine. I'd love if you could talk a little bit more about the decision to write neurodivergent characters, please.
Yeah. It's just something that's really important to me. I think, most people are, that's something that exists in their lives. If it's not you, it's someone you love. And it's just, I think it's, because I mainly write about men, it's, something men specifically don't talk about very much. So it's kind of just part of the, the toxic masculinity I'm trying to break down in my books. You should answer this too.
I think for me, being a neurodivergent person, I'm very aware of this idea of being, too much or hard to love. And it's not true. It's definitely not true. And so it's important to me to show all the ways that we can be loved and how we deserve to be loved. And so that's why I love to write neurodivergent characters in my romance novels. Okay, so we are now over here. Yes, thank you.
Hi, Rachel.
Hey.
I love the books. I have, because your work has been adapted and you clearly love the adaptation of it, do you think the way Jacob or the actors have interpreted the characters is going to change the way you write them and the way you write in general?
Yeah, I'm trying to not let it, but sometimes I think I should let it because they did do an amazing job. And as I'm writing, obviously this third Ilian Chain book, it's been tricky to not think about the show and their performances and their interpretations of the characters. I still have to write the book versions of everybody, but I think I don't know if it's changing the way I'm writing, but I will say it's maybe made it a little more difficult to stick to the book versions of the characters. But I don't mind that because it's just so I like the show so much.
Yeah, that feels like a benefit.
Yeah.
And now we do have a question from one of our viewers at home. Amanda Pereira says, what character in your series would you say you identify with the most?
Oh, probably Troy. I think, yeah.
I think we need to hear more about that, Rachel.
I think he's just his I don't know, his personality, his sense of humor, his I don't know, just the way he interacts with other people. I think, yeah, I put a lot of myself into him. You know, there's quite a bit of myself in Ilya as well. So I'm going to say the grumpy, sarcastic one. Yeah, I think those two probably more than the rest. Like characters like Harris are like the opposite of me. Like that's totally foreign to me. So yeah, definitely the less sunshiny ones are more like me.
Well, you know what? They are still some of the most beloved characters in the series, so what does that tell you? Okay, we're back over here, yes.
Hi. Oh. Stand up? Okay. Well, I have it written down, so I'm really nervous. So we loved the integration of Svetlana on the show, and I was wondering how would you like to fit in her character on second season? Because a big part of the long game is Ilya's loneliness, but obviously Svetlana is a really close friend and knows about Jane. Yeah. So yeah, that was what I was wondering.
That was one of the first thoughts I had when I watched the rough edits of the series. I was like, I don't know how Jacob's gonna like make that, like it does change things quite a bit that she knows, and you know, and that she's a lot closer to Ilya than she is in the books. But I'm not sure what Jacob's gonna do with that. I mean, if it was me, I'd probably just make Ilya shut her out more, and it kind of makes it sadder. So that might work. But yeah, it is interesting because yeah, it does change things quite a bit. So Jacob's going to have to solve his own problem on that.
Okay, up here, where are we? Oh, yes, hello.
This is not intellectual at all. I just think it's a fun, like, character consideration. A lot of couples get into repeated arguments about things that really don't matter, like how to make the bed, what brand of toilet paper to buy. Is there one thing that you think, even as they retire and are more just domestic and home all the time, would come up between Shane and Ilya over and over again?
Yeah. I think things about driving and which route to take, and like whether you're driving too slow, or like I feel like that's going to be like you're driving too fast, you're driving too slow. Take this exit being forever for them.
That was a very fun question, thank you. Okay, we're up here now. Yeah?
Hi. How and when did you realize there was such a big market for gay romance for women, and why do you think that is? I'm here, sorry.
Oh, sorry, the lights are very bright. Oh, thanks.
I mean, I think romance in general just has a huge female audience because that's generally who reads fiction mostly. Like that's the biggest consumer of fiction. So, you know, romance obviously. I feel like I discovered that there was a lot of queer romance not like that long ago before I started writing, like because it was pretty secret. It wasn't in stores. Like I think Red, White, and Royal Blue really changed the game.
Yeah.
Shout out to that book because that came out I think a couple months after Heated Rivalry did, and I could not believe it because I'd never thought any of my books would be in bookstores, and they weren't for a long time. And before that, it was really just you had to know that it was like you could look for it on your Kindle because they were all ebook only, except for a couple of really small niche publishers. So yeah, I just didn't know that it existed. And once I found out, I was pretty excited and read a bunch. Yeah, but yeah, it was a secret, and it's awesome that now there's like all displays, there's tables up front at the big booksellers now. I mean, it's only been a few years since that happened. So I do think a big part of it is just women were the only ones who knew for a long time. I mean, not entirely, but like just because that's who was largely reading romance, so they're the ones that might get it recommended on their Kindles more. But yeah, I do think Red, White, and Royal Blue was the game changer.
Okay, now we're down here again.
Hi. I know you've spoken a bit around the fact that you don't necessarily plan out plots before you start writing. Are there any characters that surprised you as you were writing them and that maybe changed slightly throughout the writing process?
Yeah, I think all of them. Like, I never really know what's going to happen with them, and yeah, they kind of just. I kind of start with a vague idea. Usually, the first thing I do is write like a bunch of kind of dialogue scenes between two characters to get their voices, to see how they interact with each other. Sometimes those scenes make it into the book, and sometimes they don't. You know, I think one of the earliest scenes I wrote in Heated Rivalry was actually the tuna melt scene. That was something I just wanted to kind of see how that went, and then that became like the goal of the book. You need to like get them here. But yeah, I do that a lot, and then yeah, I think all of them have surprised me. Like I'm trying to think of like there's a significant, like a really big example, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know if I initially approached, like when I started writing Heated Rivalry, I don't know if I necessarily thought Ilya was depressed, but like I thought maybe he was. You know, he'd had a rough life. He was secretly sad and hiding it. But I think the extent of it kind of revealed itself to me as I was writing. So that I guess was something that was a little surprising.
Lovely. And now I will do another question from our viewers at home. Anna Gartaganis says, I love how Ilya makes appearances throughout the books, being a fun menace, but also self-observant. What's your process in keeping the storylines straight throughout the books, which I think we have discussed a little bit, but they also ask, will any characters from the last books make appearances in book 7?
Like from the rest of the series?
I guess from the previous 3.
Oh yeah, I think like, yeah, Unrivaled's gonna have pretty much everyone, I think. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I definitely, I mean, now it's like I'm writing a book that I have to think about so many things beyond this book, you know, like as far as which characters are going to be, and it kind of means which actors are going to be working. It's like, you know, it's a lot to consider. Yeah, I definitely am trying to get a little bit of everyone at least onto the page in Unrivaled, because I just think that feels right. But yeah, I loved having Ilya kind of be the thread that pulls the whole series together, just showing up, bothering everyone. It's just, like I said, he's just very fun to write.
I'm going to kind of envision this book as Avengers Endgame. And there's going to be so many moments where we're all like, yeah! Okay, over here.
Hiya. Hi, Rachel. Over here, on your left. Down.
These lights, man.
Firstly, congrats on the GLAD Award. So excited to see that.
Oh, yeah, amazing. I wish I could have been there.
And I have a question about Unrivaled and maybe about the audiobook that will be recorded with it. Will we maybe get a re-recording of the other ones? They're great, but I'm a big... I do love my audiobooks. Talia, I read all of yours on audiobooks. Maybe a re-record with some special people? Your close personal friends?
Yeah, we'd all like that. Yeah, there's a lot of things being talked about right now. I mean, it's you know, our stars became superstars, so that's tricky. But I think you know, things are still possible. Things are still being discussed, so it could happen.
Fingers crossed. Okay, we are up on the left.
Hi. So there's definitely a few moments, especially in the long game, that made me cry. And so I was just curious, have you ever made yourself cry writing a scene? And do you plan on doing it again in Unrivaled?
I've never cried in my life, I guess. I do not cry easily. I feel things very deeply, but I don't, it doesn't come to the surface. And I feel bad about that a lot because I'm like, truly, I'm very moved. But like, yeah, I felt like if I didn't cry on the set of the show, then it wasn't going to happen. And I didn't. So, but yeah, I get a little choked up sometimes. I mean, I think, the moment that I think makes me the most emotional when I was writing it is it okay if I spoil the long game? Is before the wedding when, David's helping Ilya get ready. I think that little scene's nice. Yeah. And I can't wait to see it, on screen. I better see it on screen.
Okay, we are up here now. We block out these lights. Sure.
Directly right. Hi. I'm going to lower the tone here a little bit, but I want to know which Bad Bunny song that Ilya was listening to.
I just, pick your favorite from circa 2021. I don't know, I didn't really think too specifically about it. It just seemed like an artist who had started to become big at that time that Ilya would be into.
Yeah. I'm seeing some similar energy with those two, actually.
Yeah. It seemed like, and I'm glad that I picked Bad Bunny because he's not problematic. I try not to reference real celebrities too much, and the few that I put in, a few I've regretted. So I'm Bad Bunny. I feel like I won't. So I'm happy with that choice. But yeah, everybody can pick their favorite Bad Bunny song.
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
Okay. And now over here. Yeah.
Hi, it's me in the corner. I just wanted to say that it's a pleasure to be here tonight. And I am personally very curious about Shane's background, particularly his mother, Yuna. So my question is, does Shane speak Japanese?
I think he doesn't, because my thinking with, my own headcanon with Yuna is that she was born in Montreal in a time where, she probably does speak Japanese, but she probably wasn't speaking it a ton just because of the way Canada is. She probably doesn't speak it that much. And also, one of my biggest regrets about the whole thing is Shane has no extended family, which doesn't make any sense. If his mom was born in Montreal and he plays and lives in Montreal, where's his family? I think that's a problem in the books. And but yeah, I don't think Shane would speak. He might speak a tiny bit, but I don't think it's something that that his mom would have taught him that much. And I think it would have been more, the focus would have been on French and English growing up in Ottawa. So that's definitely essential in Ottawa. And that's my own headcanon, that just because of the nature of Canada being what it's like, she probably didn't speak it that much growing up.
And now another question from our virtual viewers. This one is from Emily Moxley, who asks, Ilya's friendship with Troy is one of my favorite parts of the series. Was Troy always the person you had in mind for Ilya to come out to first and trust in that way?
No, I think like everything else, it's just how the book ended up going. But I really loved the idea of Troy being a friend for Ilya, especially when he really needed one, and for Ilya to be a friend to Troy when he really needed one. I really liked their friendship a lot. I'm enjoying writing more of it in Unrivaled. I like them together. I like Shane trying to fit into that friendship. It's very funny to me. Trying to get to know Troy as anyone he wants to talk to is very funny. And then having Harris there too. I think Shane's very overwhelmed meeting a lot of people right now. So, I do like Ilya and Troy a lot as friends. And I think they could kind of see each other. They have a lot in common. That was one thing when I started writing Unrivaled. I wrote all the characters and I wrote a list of, I was like, Ilya and Troy, Shane and Troy, Scott and Ilya. It was like, what do they have in common? And just making a list. And as I brainstormed that, it was like, Troy and Ilya have a lot. And You know, Shane and Troy, not so much, but yeah, it's like, you know, Scott and Ilya had more in common than I was thinking. Like, there's just like, when I made those lists, it was interesting, but yeah, I like Ilya and Troy together a lot. They should date.
No. Okay, now we're back over here. Yes.
Hi. I'm sorry, I think I might be breaking the rules. I don't have a question. Oh. I just want to say thank you. This book, this story, these novels have brought me this inexplicable level of joy. I walk around with this smile on my face, and all I do is sit around and convert friends to watch and read these novels. So I just want to say thank you. You brought these worlds of mine, my Canadian roots. I'm married to an ice hockey player. My kids play ice hockey. I love romance novels, so this has just brought so much of my worlds, and I loved every part of it, honestly. It just brought me so much joy, and still does. And I read and rewatch, reheat, reread, the whole thing. I have fallen in total fandom psychosis. I have never done this before. I never followed any athlete, any celebrity, any politician, activist, nothing. I've never gone full fandom on anything, and this has just taken me by a storm. So I just want to say thank you.
Oh, thank you. Sorry for the psychosis.
Up here. I'm really fighting for my life.
I'm at the back, right at the top.
Yeah, got you.
I've got a question that's more about the writing side of things. I'm a writer, and I want to know how you got into, like, how you started to get into getting your work published and things like that. Do you have any advice for getting into things like that?
I went like a really weird route myself. I didn't have an agent. There was an open submission from a couple of publishers that were actively looking for queer romance, and Karina, who I ended up publishing with, was looking for hockey romance. So I was like, great. So yeah, I submitted to Mackenzie Walton, who became my editor for every single one of my books. Originally, I got a revise and resubmit letter, which is not a no. If you get one of those, you should do that, because I revised and resubmitted, and then it was a yes. So I think, you know, that's not a rejection, and it's, you know, those letters come with a lot of critical feedback, and I think that was my first time getting critical feedback. And, you know, your first reaction might be to be a little hurt or taken aback, but definitely take those notes. I think in general, I mean, if you're going to publish books, you have to be prepared for that in general. Like, you're going to get a lot of tough edits, suggestions that you might not agree with right away. But I mean, it's important to say no to the ones you feel strongly about. But you have to be able to consider, you know, the criticism and maybe take it a lot of times too, and then be ready for also the bad reviews, like all of that. That's all going to happen. And yeah, so I mean, I think especially starting out, you have to have confidence in what you're doing, and maybe a bit of maybe thick skin, but like I think also just you have to be willing to take notes and adapt and stuff, because if you have a good editor, they probably know what they're saying. You could probably contribute to this too.
Yeah, I suppose also had a bit of an unusual start. I started out self-publishing my novels and built a readership that way, and then got an agent, and then got my first traditionally published deal. But as you've said, I think the most important thing is being able to take feedback, because the first time I read an edit letter, I'm like, wow, we're enemies, and you hate me, and next time we see each other, we're going to fight. But then after a day or so, you step back and you think, okay, this is actually great. This is going to make everything better. But at the same time, you do have to have a faith in your own vision and your own voice, so that you know objectively which notes you need to say, no, not quite this. let's talk about it again. So I guess my answer would be that how you get into writing doesn't actually matter. I think the most important thing is to write as much as you can so that you know that you love what you're writing and you can stand by it and you want to put the work in to make it the best it can be.
Yeah, I think read a lot too. Like, and pay attention to why the books you love are the books that you love. And yeah, that helps too.
Okay, so now we are...
Hi, Rachel.
Oh, we're a bit.
Hi.
Oh. I'm lost.
Hi, Rachel.
Wait.
I'm up here again in the same spot. My question is another writing question. I wondered where you feel these characters come from, like all of them, and how full and formed they feel to you when they enter your world, or if you feel like you're creating every part of them.
I think the characters pop into my head pretty fully formed. Like, it's not like, I don't really, make a lot of decisions about them as I'm sitting. It's usually like the characters first and then the story. So the characters are usually pretty solidly formed, and I don't know where they come from. They just arrive in my head. And I mean, some of it's probably inspired by other fictional characters, probably, or tropes. But yeah, I don't know. They've always been pretty solidly there, and you know, I just kind of let them tell the story once they're in there, and then some of them don't go away.
Okay, we down here now? Yes, thank you.
Hello, hi. So as well as going along to set, I think I've heard Jacob say that he also, once he was in the edit, was sending you multiple cuts as he was going through the process. And so I was just wondering, was there any particular moment or moments when you were kind of watching them back for the first time as like a sum of all their parts and in context that you really felt was elevated either by certain song choices or like certain compositions that you were just like kind of taken aback by?
Yeah, I mean, I think the club scene, right? Like,
yes.
that was just incredible, and you know, I was looking forward to it anyway. But the music choices, everything about that scene just looked amazing. You know, when I got the rough edits last summer, I paced it so I'd only watch one episode a night, so I could really think about it. And you know, obviously, it was like an overwhelmingly exciting thing to watch. I was nervous at first, but immediately was like, this is so good. But there were lots of little scenes that surprised me, because in the book, maybe they weren't like, you know, that emotional or that, I don't know, they just didn't seem, like, I guess, like the scene in the bathroom at the awards. Like, that's an incredible scene. And like in the book, it's like largely a comedic scene that just sets up a sex scene, and it's like, you know, it's fun, but it's like they turned it into this like emotional like punch in the chest that's like, it was just incredible, like incredible acting, everything. And I told, you know, everyone that right away as soon as I saw that scene. I like texted Jacob and Hudson and Connor. I was like, guys, what the hell? But Connor and Hudson didn't get to see the episodes until like basically they were going to air until after the premiere. So they had no idea. They were like, oh yeah, that scene was pretty good. I was like, yeah, you guys really, really killed it. So
yeah, they did. I am going to use my microphone privilege to ask a me question. Sorry guys, I know I already had my turn. I'm back at it again. The phone call when Ilya is in Russia and he speaks in Russian to Shane. So in the book, you kind of have an inkling of maybe what has been said, but obviously in the show, we can see exactly what he's saying as he's saying it. How did that come about? Were you involved at all?
No,
How did you feel
Jacob.
when you saw it, when you watched it for the first time?
Yeah, I was blown away because like I read the script, so I knew what the dialogue was going to be, and I knew like going into it, I was like, Jacob's going to have to write that out. Like he's gonna have to figure out what Ilya says there, and he did. And I think what he wrote was beautiful, and then it was like made more beautiful by Connor's acting, and That was a really early scene that he had to film. He did most of the stuff that was like entirely in Russian, like at the beginning of the shoot. And obviously he did that separately from what Hudson did in that same scene. Like, because I remember telling them about how much, again, I was texting, like, oh my God, you guys. And they're like, we haven't seen it. And then I was like, yeah, because Hudson was like, I have no idea what he does in that scene. I haven't seen it. I was just, had a phone to my ear. But yeah, I was like, it's incredible. And yeah, that was one of the most, I mean, that's one of my favorite scenes in the book. So I think it was just so beautifully brought to life. It was a lot more emotional than it is in the book, but I think that worked really well. And, you know, I heard that tunnel was a really last minute location change because they were going to do it in a park, but it was too close to traffic, I think. There was too much traffic noise. So they moved to that tunnel at the last minute. And, which is the sort of thing we're probably not going to be able to do in season 2, just last minute go somewhere. Because, yeah, people will probably follow. But yeah, that was, yeah, Jacob blew me away with that. That's all him, and it was great. And the one line that we knew from the book was in that conversation. He had that in there too, and it was really, really nice. And yeah, it was great. I don't know. I love that scene. I love that episode.
It was wonderful. That was top tier. And now we do have another question from our virtual viewers. Gabrielle Sangaltaldo says, since you're writing Unrivaled after the visual adaptation of Heated Rivalry, and I do think someone's asked this as well, have Hudson and Connor's performances influenced how you'll write Shane and Ilya? So you did cover this a little bit.
I did cover it. I will just add that, like, I've tried not to watch the show since it first aired, because I'm trying to, like, just focus on the book versions, but that's hard because I really want to watch it again. But yeah, I think it's better if I don't, but yeah, it is tricky. Like, this is a weird situation to be in, for sure. Not terrible, but like a little weird.
Okay, now we're back over here. Yes?
Hi. As we've discovered today, and everyone has covered, Ilya kind of haunts the narrative in all the books and seems to clock everyone and has an amazing gaydar.
Yes.
My question is, did he clock Scott?
In the books, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think Scott. This is like tongue twister. I don't think Scott clocks them either in the books. I think on the show, he definitely seems to, yeah, for sure. But, you know, Scott's a pretty different character on the show, too. I think I really like the Scott on the show. He's so weird and intense. It's just fun. I really liked him. Again, it's like another character that I can't write that version. I got to stick with the one I have. But yeah, I think Ilya probably. I don't think he clocked Scott, but probably just because he doesn't think about him. I don't care.
Because he's boring.
Yeah.
I have to say, the scene on the show where Scott and Shane fight, I was all over that.
I was on set that day for that, and I got to watch it, and I was dying. Like, every time Hudson delivered that line and looked so pleased with himself, it was killing me. Like, and I got to watch them all fight, and it was fun.
Okay, up here.
We're in your back left corner.
Oh, perfect.
Hi, Rachel. Hi, Talia. I was just wondering, a lot of authors whose work has become a symbol and a way for people to reflect and see themselves have said that they felt that when they were writing the next book, they felt a certain level of pressure to make sure that they keep representing the way people have connected, and that they kind of second guess what they would be writing because they want to live up to expectations in a way. So I was wondering whether that's affected your writing, or whether it's something that you've kind of went back and thought twice about now that you're writing the next book.
Yeah, it's definitely affected it. I mean, this feels like an unusual amount of pressure as far as expectations go, because I started writing this book about a year ago in secret, I kept it a secret for a long time, and that was hard too, but now that it's out there, it's like, the secret got out there at the same time as the hype was like at its height around the show. So I definitely went from, the fans of the books are gonna really like this, to like, oh my God, the whole world is waiting for this book. And like really has strong opinions about these characters. Like now my mom has strong opinions about these characters. And like just people I know from life, like my dentist has strong opinions about these characters. And I'm like, this is unusual. It's, I think it's a really rare situation for authors to be in. Some authors who have been in this situation have reached out to me, which I really appreciate. I've gotten some really lovely emails and DMs from authors who kind of blew up really quickly and had to write the next book and with a lot of anticipation, and I appreciate that because it is an unusual situation. It's a great situation to be in, but it has like an unusual amount of pressure because I think you start to think like there's no way that you can write the book that people want. Like you just start to second guess yourself because they're like, people want this book so much. There's no way that you can like live up to the hype. But I think I just have to, I've been trying to just forget that there's a show and forget that there's even like fans. Like I'm just writing it for me, because I think that's how I wrote the other books. So I think that's how I'm gonna make this one work.
Absolutely.
Let's see.
This is going to be our last question. And we are...
Oh no. No.
Oh? You got a question?
All right.
Come on.
Yes.
Hi, Mom.
Hi.
It's me. I did some digging online, and it turns out you're a hockey fan. So you wrote Shane.
Yep.
I heard
True.
as well. And you're a fan of the Montreal Canadiens. So what was it like with Nick Suzuki appearing and him being like
Yeah.
almost exactly like
Okay,
Shane?
now I gotta explain that guy to the UK. If you don't know, a few years ago, Montreal traded for and then made a captain, Nick Suzuki, who is a Japanese Canadian, kind of a good boy, like young captain, very young captain. And when that happened, I said, oh no. And when the show was happening, I was like, that was one of the first questions I asked Jacob on our first phone call. I was like, so, do we need to change the team? Because now Nick Suzuki exists, and people are going to assume this is a show about him. And I have since had to watch Nick Suzuki get asked questions about this and try to stumble through an answer, like, oh, I guess it's great for the game. I'm like, the day the trailer dropped, all I could think about was Nick Suzuki. I was like, he is definitely watching, like, what the hell? Which makes sense. I don't blame him, but honestly, he did not exist when I wrote these books. It just was a weird coincidence, but definitely I understand why a lot of people make that assumption that the books are based on my, I don't know, fan fiction about him. But I did not know who he was when I wrote them, but I'm so sorry, Nick Suzuki. I'm sure his life is very weird now. Anyway, thank you for that.
Aw. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for being a fabulous audience. And thank you, Rachel.
Oh, thank you.
For absolutely everything. You're so back.
Talia Hibbert.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, can we do a selfie? Can we do a thing?
Nice.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't have my phone.
Oh,
Can I
well,
steal yours?
Yeah, we'll do it.
Let me, I got long arms.
Here, you do it, yeah. I don't.
Okay, we're not in that one. Oh, God.
Oh, no, video. That's a video.
Oh, okay, right. Shall I zoom out?
I don't know.
There's got to be like a...
It's an old phone.
Okay, let's try this.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
So much, guys.
Right, that's it, folks.
Thank you
yeah,
both
good
for
idea.
being such...
Take me water.
Mic on? Thank you both. This was incredible. Let's hear again for Rachel and Talia. And thank you for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you all for this wonderful discussion. If you still want to buy some books, the bookstore is still open. Otherwise, have a good night.